When Vince told me we were doing something different, I didn't quite expect it to be this different. Hey guys, Jamil here from AutoIndustriya.com, and what I have for you today is the Isuzu D-Max in the LS-E 4x4 trim. But before anything else, please make sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel so you can follow us here at AutoIndustriya.com. You know, Isuzu have always offered pickup trucks in the past. It started with pickups such as the KB, and then it became the TFR, and then of course the Fuego. But you know what? Pickup trucks have already evolved into something less utilitarian. It already gained creature comforts, and with that, Isuzu came up with the D-Max, which is more designed for a lifestyle pickup truck. And with this LS-E 4x4 pickup truck that we have, it's already been outfitted with off-road accessories such as a steel bumper, a lift kit, and also rugged terrain tires for those who like to venture into the outdoors. So, what can we expect from the Isuzu D-Max LS-E 4x4? Well, it begins with a new front fascia. Now, the bumper has already been replaced with a steel one to protect you from trail damage, and it's also been fitted with a 2-inch lift kit. It's also been fitted with rugged terrain tires, which is 265/65 rim 17 for that added ground clearance. It's also been outfitted with a snorkel. All of these upgrades actually cost around 400 to 450,000 depending on the 4x4 outfitter shop where you will put your Isuzu D-Max with. But the Isuzu D-Max as it is still fitted with a 3-liter 4-cylinder turbo diesel that puts out 190 PS and 450 Nm of torque. And it's paired to a 6-speed automatic transmission. This one is 4-wheel drive, which is why we're here at a trail to test it out. This latest D-Max, if you look at it, it's more of an evolutionary than a revolutionary approach when it comes to the design. Because somehow it retains some of the familiarity of the design, the shapes that it has with the previous generations of the D-Max. And even the size of the D-Max hasn't changed much. It's still just over 5.3 meters long. It's actually one of the shorter pickup trucks in the mid-size segment. But when you look at the space inside, doesn't seem to be the case. I think Isuzu has made nice use of the real estate that they have with the dimensions of this pickup truck, because even the pickup bed is 55 inches long. It's about 43 inches. When you look at it from the width of the wheel wells, it's about 58 inches long from the back of it and about 20 inches tall. So it still has one of the bigger pickup beds in the segment. And inside, well, it's really spacious. It's also up to date with the latest trends that we have in the automotive industry. Like, for example, when it comes to functionality, this particular D-Max has a lot of storage spaces. We have a compartment hold right over here. We have a 2-tier glove box. We have mounted cup holders on the AC vents. We also have one on the door cards. Even right over here, the center console is nicely padded. It has soft touch panels. Even this, you can see the stitching right over here is pretty nice. And it also doesn't lag behind when it comes to technology. Right over here in front of me, we have a combination of an analog and a digital readouts for the instrument cluster. So you have analog dials for the RPMs, the fuel gauge, but the engine temperature is, the readout is digital. The speedometer itself is in the middle, so it's part of the multi-information display. So on the left side of the steering wheel, we have the controls for the infotainment system. And on the right, we also have the controls for the adaptive cruise control. Actually, it has a lengthy list of ADAS that we'll just list on this screen right over here. The steering wheel itself is leather wrapped. It has a nice stitching also. Now this touchscreen is also nice because it has its own altimeter. Now it has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So let's access that one. You can see it has pretty nice details. For this LS-E variant, we also have an around view monitor, which will be very useful when you go out on trails, which I'm going to show a little bit later on. You have a dual zone climate control system. You have the 4x4 knobs right over here. We have wireless charging, full of buttons for the rear diff locks. Also have a button for the hill departure control and even your parking sensors. It also has a Type A USB port here because it has a built-in dashcam. So we have a photochromic rear view mirror, so you don't have a day and night function. It adjusts itself. We have a black headliner as well. So unlike other pickup trucks that already have electronic parking brake, Isuzu still went for the mechanical with this one. So it's easier to maintain, easier to adjust when it comes to the long run. You have leather seats. At the back, you have AC vents. We even have USB charging ports. There's a central armrest. You have ISOFIX anchors. Even the seats can be pulled upward so you can store larger items. So when it comes to functionality, it's really good when it comes to the Isuzu D-Max. And this being the LS-E variant, it comes with all the 4x4 things that you want to have it. But instead of, me yapping about the 4x4 functionalities of the D-Max, why don't I just show you, right? So let's take this out for a spin and let's do it differently. Let's do it on the trail. The beauty of having a pickup truck setup like this with the lift and the rugged terrain tires is that it gives you more confidence really to go into rough stuff. And by rough stuff, I mean those kinds that you wouldn't normally take your stock 4x4 into. And for this video, we're gonna show you just how capable the D-Max is given with these light modifications that it has. So right now, we're gonna cross a river. So now I'm gonna shift into 4x4 low and let's see how far we could take this one in a small river crossing. Let's calm down slowly but surely. With this, we're gonna use the around view monitor so we know what's ahead of us. So it's very useful, this camera, when it comes to navigating through obstacles like this. Slowly going down the river. Try to avoid the rocks so we don't end up damaging the sides of the D-Max. It has protection bars all around, but better not to hit those. Try to avoid the rocks, the big rocks, as we cross the river. So now we are in the river. So far, so good. The key here is to maintain forward momentum so as we don't get stuck. So again, let's use cameras of the D-Max just to see where the big rocks are so we can avoid it and just maintain a forward momentum. So all nice and easy. As we're going around here, it goes to about knee deep, maybe a little dipper in some parts. But as long as we keep the forward momentum, we're also pretty confident that we won't waterlog the engine because it has a snorkel. So we are now right into the dipper part of the river. Still pretty good, no problems at all. You see the water slushing right in there. There we go. We are now on the other side of the riverbed. Nice and easy. So now we are at this rocky part of the mini trail that we have, it's time to use the altimeter. So this one shows, the rolling, the pitching. So it says here, it's around -9 degrees. We're at the 9-degree bank. So nothing to worry about. That's it. Nice and slow. The added ground clearance, of course, makes us clear of the rocks. There we have it. We are now back on solid ground. So now, let's try to turn back and cross the river again. Turning back now. Slowly but surely. But still maintaining forward momentum. Okay. So now on the way back, let's see. We're gonna go for a little dip. Right, so that's around just 3 degrees of pitch. Nothing to worry about. 4 degrees, 5 degrees roll. Let's see how high we can achieve. That's about 10 degrees of bank. Nothing to worry about. Still nice and stable. As you can hear, the 3-liter engine of the D-Max, when it's in 4-low, doesn't take much effort to move the pickup truck at all. Now going back for a dip in the river. Try to avoid big rocks, use them as reference. There we go. Okay, getting up is gonna be pretty tricky. There's soft sand going up. So maybe it's time we try the rear diff lock just to see if it makes any difference when it comes to going up out of this water crossing. It's important that we position the D-Max. The underbelly won't scrape the big rocks that you see in front. So back up for a bit. So now let's activate the diff lock just for added confidence when it comes to going up. I think this pickup truck can do it. You know what? Let's just turn it off and let's see if we can make it up without ever turning the rear diff lock. So let's check it from the around view monitor again if we're hitting any rock or not. Ready to go. Little bit of forward momentum so we don't. There we go. There it is. Going up. There we go. The important thing here is once you make it up to a more solid ground, you should put it back to 4 high and then back to 2 high, because you wouldn't want to put a lot more stress with the engine and the drivetrain components, because you don't really need 4 low when going out on the road. You don't even need 4 high when you're going back to sealed surfaces. So for the D-Max, it only needs that we only need to turn the knob from 4 high to 2 high and see that 4x4 button disappear. There we have it, back to 2-wheel drive mode. Now let's see how this pickup truck feels on the road. Right, so we've already tackled how the D-Max LS-E feels when it comes to the beaten path, when it comes to off-road. But now that we're back on sealed ground, let's see how it feels. And right now, I can already tell the front feels a bit heavier than usual when it comes to the pickup trucks. Probably because of the steel bumper, it adds a bit more weight. Because, as you know, 4x4 accessories, the more you put them onto your car, the more it adds weight. So this one is fitted with steel bumpers in front and the rear. It also has an aftermarket step board. So with those being made of steel, it's gonna add a lot more weight into what the D-Max is carrying. So in a way, acceleration is a bit affected, even though it has a 3-liter turbo diesel engine. It still doesn't have a problem climbing up the mountains. It has a low down torque. But you really feel the difference when you compare it to the stock version. Also, when it comes to having a higher ride height, it makes you less confident of tackling, winding roads like this here in Tanay. Especially when you're paired with rugged terrain tires when you enter corners at speed. You do hear the tires a bit complaining. It's not actually understeering, but somehow makes a bit more noise compared to when you're running all-terrains or even highway terrain tires, which are standard issue for pickups and SUVs these days. So that's gonna be the effect that 4x4 accessories will have when you put them on to a pickup truck like the D-Max. So when it comes to the fuel economy, somehow with this 3-liter engine, I'm still averaging around 8 kilometers per liter in the city. So considering that number, I think it's much higher when we test drive the stock version of the D-Max without these 4x4 accessories. And also, the more you put them on, the more you'll hear a bit more vibrations. Like the snorkel, for example, there's a bit of a vibration I'm hearing when doing low speeds and low RPMs. So it kind of vibrates a bit. So those are some of the things that you'll have to consider when you're putting on aftermarket accessories to your pickup truck. So yes, it won't feel as refined when you try to set up your pickup truck into adding a bit more capability off-road with, more aggressive tires, lift, and putting on weight with the steel bumpers. But if that's a good trade-off to what you want to achieve with your car, I think this is a compromise that you would be happy to accept. Especially if you're the type who goes a lot on outdoor trips, doing a lot of overlanding. So yes, it's not always about the benefits. It also has some consequences. And that's the beauty of it. You just have the choice. You just have the choice to really, if you're gonna accept that consequence or stay stuck. That's the beauty about customizing the vehicle. So that basically does it for our driving impressions with the Isuzu D-Max LS-E on the road. It's time to go back to the trail and let's wrap this thing up. During the filming of this review, Isuzu Philippines is still selling the D-Max LS-E 4x4 in this automatic transmission trim for 1,995,000 pesos. Of course, these 4x4 accessories that you see aren't included, and those are sold separately. And with excise taxes set to increase the pickup truck prices, time may be running out for you to get the D-Max at this price point. But whichever be the case, the D-Max is a dependable pickup truck, and given with the right 4x4 accessories, it's gonna increase the capability of this pickup truck so you can take it anywhere, just like what we're doing today. But tell us what you think in the comment section down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Jamil of AutoIndustriya.com. Thank you for watching.